Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to mix melamine into the correct mixture and apply it onto our project works. So this is the melamine packaging. We have the actual melamine, and we get one container which is the hardener, and we have melamine thinner, and this is just a bottom part of a plastic bottle. This is a disposable container. We're gonna mix the melamine thinner and the hardener here in the correct ratio, and in order to measure it correctly, I'm gonna use this spoon. The spoon is nothing special, I just made this myself. This is just a bottle cap, and the handle is just a piece of aluminum wire bent around to form into a shape of a spoon. So this will be our measuring tool. So very simple things, disposable things. Once you use it, you can throw it away, you can dispose it off properly. Also, as long as you don't mix the melamine hardener here all together, you can close the lid and store it for later use too. So it's that easy. And here on the thinner, I've just made a few puncture holes instead of removing the cap, because I really want to seal this up again on my own. Once you remove the cap here, the seal is not as strong as it's originally done. So I just punctured this, and I'll pour the thinner out from here, and then when I'm about to store it for later use, I will seal this up with some glue and a pad of rubber. So for that reason, I just punctured it. So let's go ahead and mix the melamine. But first, we have to read the instructions given here on the can. I've done this a lot, but just for the sake of showing you guys, I'm doing this video today. So the direction here, it says 90 by 10 by volume, which means 90 part melamine, this one, and 10 part hardener, which is this. So even though it says 90 by 10, we can reduce it down to 9:1. So what the ratio says is, if you have 9 spoons of melamine, you should put 1 spoon of hardener. And right below they have given here 20 to 40% of thinner. So whatever amount you are mixing of the hardener and melamine, that amounts 20 to 40% depending on how much thick you need, how much thin you need. You have to mix it. So let's go ahead and mix this. By the way, you don't need to shake this can like other paints that you do. Normally, when you are about to open a new can of paint, you're supposed to shake it well, because most of the particles and paint components get settled on the bottom. But for melamine and touchwood and any other products, you don't need to shake or roll. You can just open it and use directly. So there we go. Now we're going to measure with this cup. So let me just adjust a little bit on the cups here. So that it doesn't swivel up and down. So I'm going to be painting it on a lot of stuff, so not just 9 spoons, but let's do 18 first. And it's always best to mix smaller amounts, use it, and if it's not enough, you mix some more and so on, which is more economical. Don't pour everything out at once, mix everything at once and use, and later on, if you have completed painting all your project works, but you're left with more melamine, that's a waste. You're not going to be able to use it after 4 to 5 hours. It's going to become rock hard solid. So it's always advisable to mix smaller amounts, use it, and if you still need more, you can mix more. So that is the general tip I would like to give you. So let's go ahead and pour in not just 9 but 18. Let's go 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's a little extra. I'm just adding. Actually, it should be just 18, but I'm a little bit greedy. So the ratio is 9:1. So for every 9 spoons of melamine, there should be 1 spoon of hardener, which means since we have done 19, which is actually supposed to be 18, we should put 2 spoons of hardener here. So let's go ahead and do that. And just to show you that this is new, this was not punctured yet. I'll do that in a second. Now, that's 1. And that's 2. Remember, when you puncture this, make it as small as you can so that it does not overflow, and you can close it up properly later on and store it for later use. Now we're just going to use a stick to mix this both well. Now it's important to note that even on the can, it's instructed that you should mix the hardener and melamine first before you mix the thinner. So we will mix this first properly, and generally just stirring it up does the trick. I don't have the mixer machine, so this will be my mixer machine for today. I think that should do. So now that we have mixed this properly, the question is, it's written on the thinner as well as melamine to use at least 20 to 40% of the amount of what you are mixing. So if you don't have a measuring cup, and if you don't want to use the spoon, I'll teach you a very simple and easy method. Just look at the amount. The amount of your melamine mix is up to here, which means, let me show it to you in the marker. It's up to here. You can just eyeball it and see if the mixture is up to here, then half of the bottle should be 50%, right? And a little bit down here, you can just eyeball and see this should be around 40%. So this much amount of thinner you're supposed to add to this mix. So let me just get the camera down and show you horizontally. Now, this is the level at which we are mixing, and this is supposed to be 50%, and somewhere around here should just be around 40%. So today I'm going to mix 40% because I need it a little thinner. So if you don't have a measuring unit, or you don't want to use spoon, you can just go ahead and measure and see it with a ruler, and it's about 2.5 centimeters. So from here, 2.5 centimeters should be here, somewhere around here, which means you can pour your thinner up to this. That would be 40% of your entire mix. It's as easy as that. If you don't have a measuring cup or a measuring spoon, simple, just use a ruler to measure the height of your container, and boom, there you go. So now we will start pouring in the thinner, and we're going to pour it until it reaches that level. I made the puncture hole a little bit smaller so that it does not flow out immediately and spill it all over the place. It's recommended that you always puncture as small as you can, and actually have the patience to let it pour out slowly instead of letting it rush out and spilling it all over. So actually we are measuring 40%. If you want it a little thicker, you can actually measure the same way as that. If this is 40%, half of it would be 20%. You can measure that, bring it up here, mark it here, and done. It's just about to reach the mark, and we will stop pouring it in when it reaches there, and just a little more. And that's it. You can see even with that small punctured hole, the can is designed in such a way that it spills. It's the trick from the company to let you waste enough as much as you can so that you'll buy more. One can will not be enough and you'll need to buy more, and so on. That's how they run business. I mean, don't you just hate this kind of can openings? Or even this, every paint containers, cans, they always have this shape and it always tends to spill out, drip out when you pour it out. Well, of course there are some certain tricks and tips on how to pour out properly too, which I could show you in future videos, but I cannot guarantee you I will make one. But I'll put that into consideration and put it on my bucket list about making videos, so don't worry about it. Let's see. Now, to mix it properly, we need to stir it well, at least a few minutes. So I think that will be enough. Let's start applying it. Now, one more thing. As you keep on drawing the mixture with your brush, take it a little bit out, brush it on, take a little bit out and brush it on. The mixture tends to separate a little bit where the thinner rises to the top and the actual melamine runs down to the bottom. So it's advisable to actually stir this every 10 to 15 minutes once and then use it again for best results. So let's go. And in case if you were wondering why it's not coming out shiny and smooth, it's because I actually forgot to mention this is not finish. Actually, this is a sealer. This is going to seal the wood and protect it from moisture. So this is a sealer. I'm going to apply this first, and then after it dries out, then only we are going to apply the finish. So you might see it written here as premium wood finish, but that is just for advertisement purpose. The actual description is given here. Melamine sealer. This is not a finish, this is a sealer. It seals the wood and the grains and the cavities in the wood and protects it from moisture. So for that purpose, I want this table legs to be safe from rain, moisture, and it's applicable to all weather purpose. So for that reason, I'm using a sealer. This is going to seal the wood and protect it from water and moisture. Simple as that. After this dries up only, I'll apply the finish, actual finish. So ladies and gentlemen, I've shown you one. I'll do the rest off camera, and that will be the end of the video today. So like, share, subscribe, and see you tomorrow on the next video. Bye.